Hi everyone, welcome to this video, and in this video we will be discussing about what is a robot. I don't think you need an introduction about it. You already have seen robots in YouTube, maybe you have built a robot before, and in this video we will be seeing what exactly a robot, what are the components and what are the application. So all these things. Okay, so what you're seeing in the slide is a robot. It's a robot from Unitary. It's called Unitary G1. It's a humanoid robot. And let's see what are the components of robots and what is it exactly. Okay. So in this slide you can find the definition of a robot. A robot is actually a programmable machine, right? And it is having three important parts. Okay. So the first part is sense, and the second is think, and third part is called act. Okay, and I have put the sense, think, act in the robot diagram. You can find on the head you can see sense. Sense means the sensors. Okay, so the sensors in the robot helps the robots to perceive the environment. Okay, so whereas the think is the computer inside the robot, which will be getting the information, the sensory information from the sensors, and these information will be processing in the think part. Okay, so the computer will be doing all the processing of these sensors. The computer will be reading the data from the sensor, processing it, and making decision out of it. Okay, finally we have the act. Okay, act or actuators. So after taking the decision from the computer will be sending the decision or the control commands to the actuators, maybe for like moving the actuators based on the control commands. Okay, so these are the important parts of a robot. If you take any robots, you can find these three important modules. Okay, in Unitary G1 on the left side you can find on the head you can find a LiDAR. There is a depth cam. Okay, so a lot of sensors are in the head and there are multiple sensors in other sides as well. On the chest of the robot, on the chest of the robot you can find the computer. It is not visible from outside, but that's where the battery and the computers are placed. And the actuators actually moving the robot, right? So these joints are having actuators or motors which will be connected to the computer, and based on the control commands from the computer, these actuators will move. So in the next slide you can find a loop actually. Okay, so this is the loop that is running in a robot. We already seen that the sense block, think block, and act block. Sense stands for the sensors, think stands for the computer or the brain of the robot, and act stands for the actuators, like our muscles. So this is actually a continuous loop. The sensor will sense, the computer will take a decision, the actuator will move the robot, and this loop will be continuing in a robot. Okay, so this is the loop that is running in any robot that you can find. We are taking each modules or each subsystem in the robot. The first subsystem, as we already discussed, the sensors. Okay, so when we compare with humans, we have multiple sensors, right? We have eyes, we have ears, we have skin, right? So all these are sensors. Like our sensors, the robot also having sensors. The sensors include camera. Instead of eyes, there is camera for robots. There are different kinds of camera. There is 3D camera, there is normal RGB camera, and there is LiDAR. LiDAR will give you the 3D coordinates of the environment. There is ultrasound sensors, IMU, and the list goes on. So these sensors will give the robot an idea about the environment, what it is seeing, and what are the obstacles around it, and what is the rotation, orientation, acceleration, all these things actually getting from these sensors. Okay, I hope that is clear to you. I just put some sensors in this slide, but there are many more. Okay, so next comes the think, or the brain of the robot. As you know, the robots are controlling using a computer. Okay, it can be a single microcontroller, it can be a logic circuit, it can be a supercomputer, it can be a single board computer, anything which can receive the sensor data and can able to process the sensor data. So in the slide, what you can see is some compute modules or computers that we can use in a robot. Okay, we can use any kind of computer, by the way, but these are some common computers that we are seeing in robots. One of the popular module that you can find is an Arduino board. Arduino is actually a microcontroller board, which means that it is having a microcontroller, means that it can able to load a program and read the sensor value, take decision and send to the actuators. So Arduino microcontroller platform can do all this stuff. Okay, it is a microcontroller platform, so the processing is actually limited. So we are using the Arduino kind of board in those kind of robots where we don't need that much of computation. Coming back to the complex robot, we will be using the Raspberry Pi, then Jetson Thor. Those kind of single board computers will be using commonly in complex robots. We can also see another microcontroller board called Raspberry Pi Pico. It's again a very popular board, which can be again used for simple robots. Okay, so the brain of the robot is very important in a robot, because imagine if we have some problem with our brain, we can't able to function, right? So that is the same for robots. The brain is super important. So if you choose a powerful computer, the robot can able to process that much of sensor data and take the or generate the decision faster. Okay, so the important part of the robot, I will say the computer, which will be controlling the sensors and the actuators, right? And the third part is the actuators or the motors. We already seen that the motors actually give life to the robot. It actually gives life to the robot, meaning using the motors, the robot can able to move or perform some act. So for moving the robot, we will be using different kinds of motors. There are different categories of motors available, from DC gear motors, stepper motors, servo motors. These are some categories basically. So all these motors can able to move the joints of the robot. Okay, so imagine in case of the unitary G1 humanoid, it may have like 30, 40, 50 actuators in its body. Okay, so all these motors are working together to make the robot movement. Okay, so it's actually very complicated. So in a very complex robot like unitary G1, it will have multiple sensors, powerful computer, and multiple actuators working together. So you might have a doubt, like, in the robot definition, I have seen these machines are programmable. Okay, robots are programmable, and it does have sensors, computers or think, and the actuators. But when we compare with some machines, for example, a washing machine that you can see, these machines also have these components, like it is having some sensors, it is having actuators, and it is also having some microcontrollers. So is it a robot? That's where we have to do this comparison, because in robots and also in automatic machines, these components are there. So where is the difference? So mostly we will say in robots, most of the robots are general purpose, meaning we can program it. It's reprogrammable. But in automatic washing machine, it's actually defined for a purpose. Okay, you can't reprogram it. It's the product is itself like program for washing the clothes. But whereas in case of the Unity G1, it can perform multiple stuff. We can program it. Okay, and it can do maybe walking, jumping, then doing some other work. Okay, so it is programmable. That is the main difference. Okay, so all automatic machines are not robots basically. Okay, so this is a main differentiation. Okay, you have to understand that these machines do have these components, but we can't call these machines as robots. These are some examples of robots. I think you might have seen these robots on YouTube, and I have put a humanoid which is already there in our slide, and the cleaning robots, which is very popular, the Roomba cleaning robots, which can able to clean the floor autonomously. We have the industrial robotic arm. These robots are using for manufacturing. You might have seen the legged robot, which is like a dog. It can walk with these 4 legs. And another popular robot category is the warehouse robot, which can able to transport materials from one position to another. Okay, so there are many categories available. I have put few robots in the slide to understand what are the different kinds of robots available. We will see a detailed category of robots in the upcoming videos, by the way. So here is a video shows different kinds of robots. Okay, it's actually from YouTube. So let's play and watch this. So according to this video, they have categorized as 6 types, but there are different classification, by the way. So first they are mentioning what is a robot. It's an autonomous machine, sense the environment, take decision, and they are actually showing different kinds of robots in this video. So the first video is about a legged robot which is actually failing, and it's tried to wake up or something. Okay, and here is a humanoid. So another person is trying to teleoperate, and the humanoid is mimicking that. And here are some 6 types of robots that they are showing. One is the autonomous mobile robot, AMR, which is actually using in warehouse. So this is a typical video of a warehouse robot, which is mainly using an Amazon warehouse. I mean, in big warehouses, these robots are using for transporting these boxes. And these autonomous robots are everywhere, like in hospitals for delivering medicines. Even cleaning robots are a type of autonomous robots. Then we have AGVs, automated guided vehicles. And the third category is articulated robotics, mainly the robotic arm. Okay. So the robotic arm plays an important role in the manufacturing. It can able to pick an object and place an object in a very faster way. Then comes the humanoid. We already seen Unity G1, so there are many classification in humanoid as well. You can see Boston Dynamics humanoid. These robots are very rugged. And yeah, so the 5th category is cobots. These cobots are basically robots which can able to work together with the human. Okay, these are safe compared to the industrial robots which is using for the manufacturing. Cobots are safe. So 6th one is hybrid. So it is like it is having multiple things, like it is having leg and maybe a mobile platform. It's a combination of multiple things. So that is the hybrid robot. Okay, so this is a category of robots that we can see, but there are different classification we will be seeing in the upcoming videos. Okay, so that's it about what is a robot. Okay, I hope you got an understanding, like what are the main components, what are the different categories of the robot, what are the applications, all these things. And in the upcoming video, we will be seeing more. Thank you.